Okay, let's get right into it. Today, we're looking at Malaysia, a country that's doing something pretty fascinating. They're not just growing, they're strategically reinventing themselves. And this is more than just an economic story. It's really a story about massive ambition, some very clever moves on the world stage, and a huge bet on the future. You know, this line right here, it just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures what's going on. Malaysia is actively rewriting its own story, shifting from being a regional player to becoming a leader in some really critical, future-focused industries. So the big question is, how exactly are they pulling this off?
Well, first things first, you can't make a huge leap forward without a really solid platform to jump from, right? And that is precisely what Malaysia has been busy building. Let's take a look at the economic engine that's powering this whole transformation.
Yep, 4.4%. That number represents some serious momentum. This isn't just a country recovering, it's accelerating, and it's being fueled by strong consumer spending and a massive surge in investment. This is the solid ground they need for the big moves that are coming.
And all that growth, it's not just a number on a spreadsheet. It's translating into jobs. Unemployment has dropped to a post-pandemic low. See, when your economic fundamentals are this solid, it gives you the stability and the confidence you need to get really, really ambitious.
And here's one of those ambitious moves. Malaysia is not content to just rest on its laurels with its current manufacturing base. Nope. This new industrial master plan is all about a massive upgrade, shifting towards more complex, higher-value products and making sure the workforce has the high-tech skills to match. It's a fundamental pivot from quantity to quality.
All right, now let's get to the real heart of the story, because this is where it all builds. This is where Malaysia is placing its biggest bets, a full-on charge into the digital and green economies. This is what we're calling the quantum leap.
Just take a look at these numbers for a second. In just the first 10 months of 2024, Malaysia locked in over 141 billion ringgit in digital investments. To put that in perspective, that's 3 times the total for all of 2023. This is an explosive, incredibly deliberate push to become a digital powerhouse.
And make no mistake, this is not a niche little side project. The digital economy is on a trajectory to make up over a quarter of the entire country's GDP by 2025. It's not an add-on, it's being built as a core pillar of the national strategy. We're talking about a fundamental rewiring of the whole economy.
So where is all that digital money going? Well, a huge chunk is being aimed right at the super high-stakes world of AI and semiconductors. We're talking a target of over $100 billion in investment, and they're teaming up with the heavy hitters, giants like NVIDIA, Intel, and Infineon to build out these next-gen tech hubs in places like Johor and Penang.
Now, running right alongside this digital push is a massive green one, and the ambition here is huge. The goal is to nearly double the share of renewables in their energy mix to 40% by 2035. They're even creating a system to trade green electricity with their neighbors. So this isn't just about sustainability, it's about becoming a key player in the green energy market.
Okay, so you've got the economic muscle and you've got the high-tech ambition. But how do you make it all work in today's really complex global landscape? Well, that brings us to Malaysia's very clever geopolitical and financial playbook. This right here is the key to the whole thing. Malaysia is practicing something called strategic neutrality. Now, that doesn't mean being passive. It means being smart. By working with both the US and China, without getting tangled up in their rivalry, Malaysia is positioning itself as this attractive, stable, and neutral ground for everyone to come and do business. And they are backing up that strategy with some serious incentives. For example, the new special economic zone that connects Johor with Singapore, it's offering incredibly competitive tax rates for both companies and skilled workers. This is a direct play to attract the absolute best talent and the biggest corporations in the world.
And to pay for all this, they're being really pragmatic. The government is taking very clear steps to get its own financial house in order. You know, reforming subsidies, broadening the tax base, boosting the minimum wage, all while trying to chip away at the national deficit. It's a classic balancing act of spending big while also being fiscally responsible.
Of course, no grand plan like this comes without risks. It is absolutely crucial to have a clear-eyed view of the potential obstacles. So what are the headwinds that could potentially slow down Malaysia's momentum? There are really 3 main things to keep an eye on. First, you've got global trade tensions, things like potential US tariffs that could throw a wrench in the works. Second, paying for all this ambitious infrastructure.
That's a very delicate tightrope walk for the national budget. And finally, and this is a big one, they have to ensure that the benefits of this digital boom reach everyone and close that gap between the cities and the more rural areas.
And this really is the central question, isn't it? The vision is crystal clear. The plan is already in motion, but the challenges are very real. Can Malaysia successfully navigate all these complex issues to realize its full potential?
And that brings us to the final act. Because despite those challenges, the trajectory is set. The country is moving forward, with key milestones on the immediate horizon that are going to define this next chapter.
Looking ahead, you can already see concrete progress. The industrial upgrades are going live, that big Johor Singapore zone is officially launching, and the early stages of chip fabrication are beginning. These aren't just distant dreams. These are the next steps, happening now, designed to keep the economy strong for the long haul.
And so we end right back where we started, with a really powerful thought. Malaysia has spent the last few years meticulously laying all the groundwork. The strategy is clear, the investments are flowing in, and all the pieces are in place. The challenge now is all about execution, taking that solid foundation and building something truly remarkable. It's not about catching up anymore. For Malaysia, it's now about reaching for entirely new heights.